Hello, welcome to my channel. This will be a channeled message from the Divine Masculine to the Divine Feminine. In the beginning, I felt a connection so strong, like no other I have ever felt in all my years of friendship. I wondered how such a beautiful soul had found my own, and how our lives were so similar. The times our paths crossed, though we have never met, I felt a higher presence, like you could be an angel or a goddess sent to heal my soul. Our friendship was innocent and beautiful, and I cherished having such a bright light in my darkness. I thought my life was as I wanted, but came to realize that it was so much better with you around. I began to wonder if you felt the same. I tried to ask you without actually asking, but by wondering if we were connected in a past life or something. The signs all around me were pointing to yes. The numbers, the songs, they were telling me you were meant for me. The birds, the feathers were all signs from above that I was on the right path. I held on to a hope that I could tell you how I felt one day, that I could somehow gather all the courage and speak my truth. After some time, I began to worry I could never let you know how I felt for fear of ruining our gifted friendship. The friendship that had turned to love. Soon the days turned to weeks, the weeks turned to months, the months turned to years. My light-hearted fondness grew to a love so strong, I was knocked off my own feet. You're always knowing the perfect thing to say. I wished I could ask you, but I was afraid. I was so afraid to tell you, I became sad. So sad that you could see it on my face. You could see it in my eyes. You mentioned it a time or two, but I couldn't let you know you were right. I couldn't tell you I was sad about you. I tried to cheer myself up by looking for you in other people. I tried to dull my pain with drugs and alcohol, but nothing ever helped. I could never even come close to replicating you in another. I belittled myself thinking I wasn't good enough for you. Even though your love was unconditional, I never felt at the right place in my life to open up enough. My sadness was turning to anger. I was angry at myself, mostly, but a little angry at you. You put me in my place from the start, and so I could never find the strength to speak my truth. There were times I hid from the truth, I hid from myself, and I hid from you. I may have even said a thing or two that hurt your feelings. I didn't want you to be hurt, but I was pushing you away, intentionally. You would be quiet at first, but always came back to me with the right thing to say. Your words and advice were always spot on, as if you were in my head and knew how I felt already without me even telling you. I began to wonder if you were gifted in more ways than one. I began to see that my anger would sometimes turn to hate, I hated you for being so perfectly out of my league and for having the perfect words to say at the perfect time. I wished I could be half the person you were. Mostly, I hated myself. I hated that I never protected our friendship. I hated that I didn't treat you better. I hated that you didn't need me like I needed you so badly. I started to go in another direction, the wrong direction, the wrong path. Again, the signs told me not to, but I ignored them. I ignored you. You still hung around, waiting to say something nice to me, and I began to resent this. I began to be sarcastic and rude at times. Even though I felt your hurt as if it were my own, I continued to push you away. You never left, though. You still continued to be a good friend, and I didn't deserve you at all. My heart will never understand why I started to let you go. It cried, no, don't do this, don't ever let this go. But my brain fought it, and eventually won. As soon as an opportunity came to sneak away, I left. And I slammed the door behind me and I locked it. It was a very cold and heartless thing to do, but somehow I managed to feel like I had won. Briefly. Because when you had returned to find the door was locked, you knocked on it. And when I didn't answer, you eventually walked away. So now you're gone, and I'm a mess. I regret it every day. Since you've been gone, our connection feels even stronger than ever. I think about you more than ever. I feel obsessed in a way that is unhealthy. Our bond has been broken, yet my heart feels like we are bound forever. I try to send you thoughts of love, and I feel sadness again. I want to take it all back. I wish I had told you how I truly felt. I wish I wasn't a coward. I wanted to be the warrior you saw me as. I would give anything to go back to the start. And if I was a better person, I would tell you how much you meant to me and how much I truly cared about having you in my life. I would say, I'm sorry. I can only pray that I will someday get another chance. A chance to show you were the best thing in my whole life. You were my best friend. You were my only true love. Until then, I spy on your energy. I imagine us together in all the ways I shouldn't. And I cry when I reminisce. The angels cry too. My life has been terrible ever since. And I just want to say, I want to make it better. I want the chance to make it up to you. I pray that day will come soon. And when it does, you'll see. You'll see you made me grow from this.